Okay, so here's the other tool for solving quadratic equations. And then after this, we'll talk about, okay, well, when do I decide which one to use? All right, with the zero product property, we needed one side to be 0. So sometimes that doesn't work. However, if we can get one side to be a perfect square, and by perfect square, right, we're thinking something like x squared, or x minus 2 squared, or anything where we have one quantity involving our variable and that thing is squared. Right, then we can simply take the square root of both sides, and then we know that a, right, our x term, whatever it is equal to the positive and the negative, or the negative square root of k. All right, what that requires is for k to be a constant. All right, so only my variable has got to be just on this side. All right, so there are some requirements. I don't need it to equal 0, but I do need a perfect square on one side and some sort of number on the other side. All right, so no more variable on the other side, the k side. Okay, so looking at this example, what I see is, oh, I do have a perfect square there. I don't have any other variables hanging out, and so this one looks like we can pretty easily change it into the form x term squared equals a number. So subtract 3 from both sides, then I can take the square root of both sides, because all I have here is that thing squared, so square root, and now I've got 5x plus 1 is equal to either the positive square root of 7 or it is equal to the negative square root of 7, and you could also, you could write that as this, plus or minus root 7. I'm just going to do these separately so that you see, because we've got some other things to deal with here, the 1 that's being added and the 5 that's being multiplied. So I'll walk you through these separately, and in the future you can always do it in one go with the plus or minus. So I need to subtract 1 from both sides, so 5x equals negative 1 plus root 7, or 5x equals negative 1 minus root 7, and then I'll divide both sides by 5, and x is this, or that. If you went from here, you could also subtract 1 from both sides, and just use that plus or minus, and then divide by 5. Totally fine. Okay? Alright. So that is the square root property.